Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the AnyGames.ie podcast with me, Gav.
And me, Dave.
Dave, new year?
Yep.
New year, new Dave?
No. New bits of me. I've put on about 2 inches around the waistline after Christmas. Yeah.
We all do that.
It's great though. Love it.
No, it's nothing like stuffing your face and drinking
Just
till it comes out of your ears.
pure indulgence.
Pure indulgence. The time for it though, isn't it?
Yeah. But enjoyed the break. Enjoyed the Christmas with the family. It was a nice quiet one. How about yourself?
Yeah, all good. All good. We should say Happy New Year to the listeners.
We definitely should.
All 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah. Thanks for the listener.
Maybe this is our year this year, Dave.
Could be. You never know.
But yeah, good Christmas.
Yeah, very good. It was a nice quiet one. It was just myself, Mrs. and the kids for Christmas Day, and we headed off to Carlingford for a couple of days just for a nice little break. Yeah, it was a nice quiet one. Yeah, how about yourself?
Yeah, we kind of toned it down a bit this year because usually we're like headless chickens running around trying to visit every house, every person that we know, and it's carnage. So we toned it down a bit. Like you said, just the wife and kids for the majority of it. Now we did have family wedding on New Year's Eve, which was good.
Oh, that's a good one for a wedding, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I mean,
good atmosphere, like
I don't know about you, but very rarely do anything on New Year's Eve. Like, haven't done that since I was in my early 20s.
My New Year's Eve routine hasn't changed in years. It's literally a few drinks at home, myself and the missus again, and we sit down and watch Jules Holland, bring in the new year to that. I love
Jules Holland, the big brass band.
Yep, love it. Every year, bit of music, few drinks. That's it.
Yeah, that's all you need, isn't it? I think when you get to our age, Dave,
although you say get to our age, I never liked New Year's. I don't know what it was. It's just I was never a big New Year's Eve person.
Yeah, look, I've memories of going out New Year's Eve in my early 20s, and the only thing I can remember is struggling to get a taxi.
Yeah.
Struggling to get a taxi on the way home. Always a nightmare, but yeah. Speaking of New Year, we've also got some new equipment.
We do.
We've been
sitting here with some shiny, nice new kit in front of us.
Yeah, and we're absolutely delighted. There you go. That's some of the sound effects that we're going to be adding.
So
into this.
For Christmas, we got the clap.
No. Well, we did get the clap. We also got an applause for that as well.
They liked my clap joke.
Yeah, that was awkward.
So this is what we got in front of us.
Yeah, that's about all. We've added a couple of sound clips.
That spring at the end was how excited Gavs is about his new bit of kit.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. And when somebody gets excited, we'll throw in that sound effect.
Yeah.
Dave's not that excited at the moment because Chelsea are mounting a comeback.
They are. We were winning 3-1. Arsenal are currently
defo offside there.
Yeah. But they were winning 3-1, fairly comfortable 3-2 now. And Gav will attest to this. I saw Garnacho coming off the bench, and I said, "Oh, Saliba and Gabriel are going to be terrified of him."
And what does he do?
He goes and scores a brace. Up to this point, he's on a hat trick now.
We're at the 86th minute.
Yeah, but Gav. So new year for the podcast. Some new plans, and part of that is this new kit that we have in front of us, and some good stuff that's going to help us get out to clubs and get out to games and stuff like that, and get talking to people. And
yeah, part of the new kit is some of the wireless mics. So as you said, Dave, hoping to get out into the field, no pun intended, and maybe visit some games, get out onto the all-weathers as well, see what games have been organised through the website.
Yeah. So if you're actually organising games through AnyGames.ie, or if you have a 5-a-side game and you want us to come out and have a little chat with you, if you're doing any 5-a-side tournaments, stuff like that, and you want us to kind of promote them for you, or kind of give shout outs and try and get some players or whatever, as always, the website's there and the podcast is here. Get involved in the comments and head over to AnyGames.ie and let us know there.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Dave, but I'm feeling a bit rusty.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's a combination of having the couple of weeks off or all this new kit, trying to get to grips with it. But
see, I thought that as well. I thought taking the break for a couple of weeks over the Christmas from the podcast would help us, and it has, to be honest with you. It's given us a bit of time to think and reflect and have a little chat about some things we want to do. But it's also made me a bit rusty, and it makes me realise why all these professionals doing that podcast, why they continue to do them. You
get into a bit of a rhythm, don't you?
You do, and you kind of like, we'd have to been sitting here for the last half an hour trying to get back into this. Now,
A lot of that was messing with the soundboard.
It was.
The new soundboard.
To be fair, it was. But I don't know what that was.
Someone getting a slap.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw these in randomly now.
But yeah, so you can expect, maybe especially in this episode, a few soundboardy bits. Let us know if you do or don't like them.
Yeah, and so we also, as we spoke about before Christmas, have a couple of guests lined up.
We do, actually. In the next maybe 2 episodes, probably not the next one, but the one after, we have guests lined up.
Yeah, I think our aim between now and the summertime will be to maybe have at least one guest on a month.
Yeah, if we can get that. Yeah,
that'd be a good ratio, and then we'll just continue with our normal progression. And then once we have the studio fully set up, we'll also be looking to move then to video format and actually recording video to go with the podcast and have that up on YouTube as well. So
yeah, as well, we might at some point have people kind of drop in and out of this regular. A couple of people who might be interested in doing a bit of recording with us.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that as well.
Might be adding to the team, so it's not just the two of us all the time.
Yeah. So keep it fresh, keep the dynamic.
Yeah.
Dynamic.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself, Dave.
I suppose, Gav, I'll move on then.
What's been going on the website, Dave?
Well, this is what I was going to say. We actually have a listener question there, and they raised it on AnyGames.ie for the podcast. It is Ian B87 over on the website, and he says it's an interesting one. This I want your take on it. As someone who is both coaching and who has kids in the club setup, So he says, "Hey lads, not sure how things are with the club memberships and the likes in Ireland these days, but here in Australia, I'm scheduled to start pre-season this week. I'm a bit conflicted as whether to commit to another season for all the usual reasons: family time, rest, looking after the body, maybe like one lie-in a year if my birthday falls on a weekend. But for probably the first time I remember, the cost of membership has to be taken into consideration. Now, the facilities are great, the pitches are flat, grounds or dressing rooms are clean, floodlights great for the night games and training, but things are getting pretty pricey. This is fine for me. I'm approaching my late 30s. I can decide to play or not. No biggie. The thing I find sad is underage registration is not much different. There must be a huge burden for families with a few kids, a dilemma I'm sure to face in the coming years, as he has kids himself, young kids. It would be a shame for any young person to be guided away from the game for financial reasons, but what alternatives are there if we want the modern facilities? Wondering if this is a problem in Ireland. Looking forward to the responses from others. Happy New Year."
Yeah, and that's when we can put out to other listeners to get involved in the comment section and give their 2 cents on that.
Definitely. If you have any opinions on that as a listener, head over to the comment section here of the podcast and head over to AnyGames.ie and get chatting there with Ian on that topic as well. Interesting, he's living in Australia and he's finding the registration fees pricey over there. This is why I wanted to ask you, as someone who has, I suppose, a hand in both sides of the divide there. Not even a divide, but
I would say there's a lot of people who feel it over here as well. It's not much different.
No.
Like everything in Ireland, really, the cost of living is through the roof, and football is no different. I mean, from the club's perspective, you would say everything's more expensive now.
Yeah, well, the cost of living in general, in every aspect of life, is just more expensive now, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you can imagine from a club's point of view, the cost of running the club, especially if you have decent facilities. So if you've got an all-weather pitch and it's your light and floodlights and just the cost of everything, getting all the jerseys in, getting all the equipment in,
everything, and as well, there's all the maintenance fees, everything for pitches. Like there's so much to consider when you're running a club.
So for us, anyway, if you have a child in the DDSL, you have to pay your registration with the league every year. Then you would have your club fees.
Yeah.
So there's 2 sets of club fees. You'd have like a registration fee or a membership fee, and then you would also have your subs.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it's different in GAA. I don't know whether they pay their subs per week. I don't think so. That used to be a thing where you used to pay your subs every week.
Yeah.
So you'd go up to a match and you'd bring
10 or 5 or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
So similar to when you go play 7-a-side Astro or whatever it might be, you'd bring your money every week. What they do now is they get that all up front at the start, and then you have your club membership as well. Now, most clubs now, and I think this includes the GA as well, they would have like a direct debit scheme.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be an upfront cost all at once.
Hmm.
So you might be able to spread it. I think you'll have your initial payment and then maybe another 5 monthly payments to kind of spread it out.
Okay.
But it certainly is more expensive than it used to be, and it's going to continue to get more expensive, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Just because, as I said, the cost of living does go up now.
Can I ask, sorry, do you know if you have multiple children at a club?
That was going to be my
Is
next
it the
point.
same for every child? Or
No, there is discounts
okay.
the more children you have involved in the club. Now that's, I don't know off the top of my head what it is. They'll also have like, most clubs will have an incentive for coaches. So most coaches will be there because they have their son there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's usually the way it works. The child is there, so that's how they get involved in coaching in the first place. And the incentive for you as a coach, because it's voluntary, is usually those fees are either discounted or waived completely.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Which is fair enough.
Yeah. So I think it's a good incentive. I don't think coaches ever go in with that thought process going, oh, I'll be a coach so I don't have to pay the registration fee.
No,
but
because I mean the time spent being a coach,
it's a nice little give back from the club just to say that
thanks for
volunteering, that kind of thing. So
things like that happen across other areas. If you want to get your kids into scouts and stuff like that, if you sign up to be a leader, chances are your kid will get expedited into the scout group that you're becoming a leader in, stuff like that. So there is little incentives like that across things.
And usually the fees are done across age groups. So different age brackets will have a different cost. So obviously the younger the child is, the lower the price, and then as they get older, the fees will increase.
Where does insurance come into that?
The insurance is twofold. So you will have your registration covers your insurance during a game. So your registration, with the league, as far as I know, covers you for insurance during the game.
Right.
Your membership with the club then will cover your insurance with the club. So during training, if anything happens when you're on the grounds in the club, you're insured through the club's insurance.
Right.
But if something happened to you when you were away, playing away, and one of the kids gets injured or whatever it is, that's covered through the league's registration, as far as I know.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
So yeah, you're kind of doubly covered in that respect. And then also like your club membership might include, depending on the club, might include your socks and your shorts or a training kit or something to that effect as well.
I suppose to go back to Ian's question there, or his point on it, where he says it'd be sad to see someone miss out on playing football simply because their parents can't afford it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it probably does happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know if clubs kind of can work something out there with parents, or if they're.
Yeah, I mean,
I suppose this is a club by club basis. I suppose some clubs might be willing to not bend. I mean, but say like, okay, when you have it, give it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining some clubs are, especially more rural clubs, are a little bit more strapped, maybe cash wise, and need it to push forward.
Yeah, sometimes that's where fundraisers come in. Sometimes they'll do fundraisers to offset the overall cost of membership and so on, or rather than, let's say, the way I was saying earlier about your training kit might be included in your membership. What they might do is reduce the cost of the membership and have a fundraiser to try get everybody their training kit.
Yeah, okay.
Something along those lines. But I would say you're probably ballpark per child for the season, if you include training kits, club membership and league registration, you're probably all in for €250 to €300 for a season.
It sounds a lot. Over the course of a year, well, I suppose if you're paying for one child, it's
you say over the course of the year, but it's really over the course of about 6 months. But I'm sure you'll have some leniency with clubs. The awkward part about it is it's usually, it's never a good time to have to hand over €300. But as I was saying, if you have a direct debit system, you might pay. Like the league, I think is about €30 for the registration.
Okay,
that's kind of. I do tell parents that's the most important thing because that allows you to play the competitive games.
Yeah. So that's the kind of important
Yeah,
payment.
or if I was to categorise it, I would say, and the club would probably do the same, because there's no point in you coming up to training and doing all your training and then not being able to play at the weekend.
Yeah, yeah,
So get registered with the league first and foremost, and that usually happens anyway chronologically, because the season will start before the club will start looking for fees.
yeah.
So your league usually starts end of August, start of September, and then the club fee is probably aren't due to be paid till probably the end of September.
Okay.
So September's awkward because you've got school starting. So there's all the back to school
There's
fees,
all those costs. Yeah,
all your new uniforms and all that good stuff. And then before you know it, you're sort of around the corner. Christmas is coming and everything else, and the expense that comes with that. So
yeah,
there's never a good time, but it's an awkward time. And I think as a coach, I just send out reminders.
yeah.
Kind of, you'll have someone from the club who'll be on to me saying such and such hasn't paid, or you've only got 50% of your team has paid the club fees, or whatever it might be. Can you send out a reminder? So you send out reminders, but you're almost doing it reluctantly because
because you're conscious that you've probably done it last week, the week before,
and you're a parent as well, so you're thinking to yourself in the back of your mind, some of these people might not have it. It's a bad time of year,
and you don't know people's circumstances as well, and it's difficult.
Yeah.
That being said, like the registrations do need to be paid.
Yeah.
And it is hard. I suppose. I mean, far be it for me to tell people how to manage their money, but you could be looking at it. You say it's over the course of 6 months, but you could be looking at it and say, right, it's February now, or it's January, February, but I know I'm going to have this payment in September. So I'll square it away, 10 or 20 quid every week. But yeah, it's easy for me to say that now. But I mean, I know I'm not that good at managing money. So
what I would say is, if it's a well-run club and you can see almost where your money's going, if your child is being decked out in the best of gear, playing in the best facilities, if they're not rocking up like Black Ball Rovers, and all the training equipment is good, the coaches are doing their job.
Yeah, you can see, like you say,
if you can kind of see that there's money being
there's
invested
actually something
back
tangible
into the club.
There's something tangible there. You can actually look at it and point at it and say, yeah, there's my money. That's where my money's gone.
Yeah, like it's actually being reinvested into the club.
I mean, you're at Finglas United, so that's a good big club, where you can, like you say, you can see these tangible things, you can see these bits and pieces and see where the money's gone.
Yeah.
I suppose where it becomes difficult is in a, say, more rural club, or a much smaller club, even around Finglas or whatever, where they need that money just to keep the club going.
Yeah.
That's when you have to fall back on fundraisers, but then they don't always raise the funds you need, so it's just difficult. It's difficult, for smaller clubs, I suppose, or parents of kids at smaller clubs, and they've just basically, as far as they can see, put money in a black hole, which is not the case.
No.
Because their kids still playing football at the club because of their registration, stuff like that. So
the other side of it as well is when you increase your facilities, if you increase your kind of your footprint, and you've got more pitches, or you've got big all-weather pitches, or whatever it might be, the club's insurance then increases.
Yeah.
If you have an extra 100 kids down that come down during the summer, okay, that's an extra 100 memberships you might get.
But it's more liability.
But there's more liability there.
Yeah.
So it's a balancing act. But as I said, if it's a well-run club, and what people probably don't understand as well is a lot of these clubs rely heavily on sponsorships. So you might have a parent in the group that's, say, self-employed but has a big company, might be a CEO of a company, or he might have, his own plumbing company or electrical company or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
For him to sponsor a set of jerseys, it's probably between €1,000 and €1,500.
Yeah.
And he might get a small advertising board up around the club. But that 1,500 is huge for the club.
Yeah.
And clubs rely on that. You can get, there's packages that clubs will offer. So you can get bigger billboards, and like we speak about Finglas United. Finglas United now, they are in the SFA Cup. And in their group, they've got Wexford, Bowes, and Bray. The Wexford game was away. They beat Wexford 2-0 last Saturday down there.
Right.
And they've got Bowes this weekend. Now, for them to host Bowes, because Bowes will obviously draw a crowd, there's a lot of cost that goes into that for the club. So there'll have to be sort of temporary fencing put in, stewards. You will have the Gardaí kind of have to get involved to make
Yeah.
sure that for
So
traffic
again, it's all
safety and all that sort of
costs.
stuff.
It's all costs.
You have to put in temporary toilets, all the porta cabins, all that sort of stuff, all the
Mm.
portaloos. There's a lot that goes into it. So that's a cost on the club. So they have to kind of sell tickets.
Yeah, they have to find that from somewhere.
And they have to find it. But what you'll find is you'll have a lot of those sponsors that have come through sponsoring. Might have sponsored the under 13s, under 14s with a set of jerseys. Got a billboard up there. That game's televised now on the League of Ireland, LOI TV or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Now they've got their billboard up on the telly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because so it's a sound investment in that respect, but it's
a balancing act. It's
a balancing act. Once it's a well-run club, you have to kind of see it as an investment in the club and in your child, I think. But I would definitely agree that the cost to have your child in a football club has never been higher at the same time.
Yeah, so it's difficult. Again, we'll throw it back to the listeners. If you have kids at a club, or if you're at a club yourself, playing amateur football or whatever, how are you finding costs, or how are you managing costs, or what things are your clubs doing to cover costs, stuff like that. Anything that's kind of related to the question, get in here and get involved with the comments and let us know what your take is. Or again, head over to AnyGames.ie. And it's in the chat section there where Ian has raised it. I think he's called it the Price of Progress.
The Price of Progress. That's
a good title.
That's a very good title.
It's a good title.
What I would say as well is, just on the topic of fundraisers, if you're involved with a club that's hosting a fundraiser and you'd like to get the awareness out there, you can post about it on the AnyGames.ie website. Yes. And then we can put it across all our socials, and we'll mention it here on the podcast as well, just to help spread the word.
Yeah, I'll be getting back out on the TikToks in the next couple of days, especially now that this is back up and running.
TikTok hasn't been the same without you, Dave.
No, I think it's missed me. It's missed me. But like that, head over to the AnyGames.ie. It's called the Club Zone over there. We've got sections in there for people to shout out for players, for coaches, and anything like that. Gav was saying there, the fundraisers and stuff like that. And we put it across all our socials. And if you want to come on and talk about your event,
or you want to come on and talk about your club,
whatever you want to do, let us know. Head over to AnyGames.ie, drop it in the comments here, let us know, and we will get in touch with you.
Yeah, and we have a fairly mobile setup here as well. So if it's a case that you want us to come out and visit you at your club, we don't mind travelling either. And
further the better. We might make a little YouTube series out of it if we're heading down to Cork or something like that.
Yeah, the two ugly mugs.
Yeah. Two ugly mugs heading down to Cork. Watch out for the 6-part series.
So we spoke before Christmas about the new National League that's getting underway.
We did.
So this is essentially the third tier. So you'll have the League of Ireland Premier. Then you'll have what's essentially the First Division, and then you will have this new National League. So we'll just run through a couple of the teams that are involved. We did speak as well when we were discussing this previously. We were talking about how they wanted a geographical spread.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it here. It's definitely spread out.
Definitely covers that. So we'll start with Bonnigy United, who are from Letterkenny and Donegal. We've got CK United.
We mentioned them on here before, actually.
We did. So that's Carlow Kilkenny, and they're based in Kilkenny City. We've got Cockhill Celtic. They're based in Buncrana and Donegal. If ever we needed the soundboard. Childish. We've got Home Farm, who are from Whitehall in Dublin, as many of our listeners will know. We also will be having somebody from Home Farm. Just a quick little
little nod.
A little nod to Home Farm. We'll have somebody on from there in the coming weeks. And we've also got Killarney Celtic from Kerry, Letterkenny Rovers. We've got Lucan United, another team from Dublin. Mayo FC, who are based in Castlebar. We've got Merview United, who are in Galway. Newbridge Town from Kildare. Salt Hill Devon, who are in Galway as well. St Francis, another team from Dublin. And we've got TUD, which is the Technology University of Dublin as well. We've got UCC, AFC, who are based in Cork City. Villa FC, who are based in Waterford. And that concludes.
it. I'm just looking there, Gav. There's a few stand out to me, right? And for reasons of travel for this podcast.
Yes.
And I wouldn't mind getting out too. So, right, love Galway. Going to Galway. So, Salt Hill United there. Salt Hill Devon. Sorry, Salt Hill Devon. My apologies.
Yeah. Apologies, Devon.
Wouldn't mind heading there.
Devon knows how they make it so creamy.
I like a trip to Killarney.
I've never been to Kerry.
Have you not?
No.
Killarney's one of my favourite spots in the country. Love it down there.
That's a good excuse as any now to get down there.
It is. So, if anybody from those clubs is listening and you wouldn't mind us dropping down and having a chat with us, let us know. Let us know.
Absolutely. So, our plan for the podcast, the reason we kind of bring it up is it's a league that we want to cover. I mean, there's podcasts out there for the League of Ireland.
Yeah.
You're going to have, fan podcasts that specifically kind of discuss what's going on at Bows or Shells or Rovers or wherever it might be. And
we cover a bit of Premier League on here, but that's not really what we want to be. With this podcast league.
We did set up with the idea to focus on the amateur game, and this is kind of the new top tier for amateur football in Ireland.
Yeah, so that's the top level of amateur football now in the country. So it'd be remiss of us not to cover that.
Yeah, as well as that, we also would like to cover the Leinster Senior League.
Yeah.
That's something we'd like to cover going into the new season.
But we also want to kind of give a focus to all the leagues across the country if we could. But we'd love people to get in touch with us and let us know what you want to hear from us on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're involved in any leagues or any clubs around the country, we really want to make this podcast about what you want to hear. And I think with part of our interviews, I think that's a big thing. Getting people on here and getting people's stories from across the country. But yeah, as Gav was saying, like that National League is something we really want to cover here.
Yeah, and we'll look at that. We'll look at other leagues, other amateur leagues, and
as you said,
kind of shine the spotlight on as many clubs as we can throughout the year.
Yeah,
get into clubs, have chats with people behind the clubs, and that's where we want to focus our attention.
And you mentioned the Leinster Senior League there.
Yeah,
that's one reason why Gav I think mentions that is that that's an easy one for us to start getting out to. Because obviously we're in Leinster, being in Dublin, so we can start getting out to clubs there.
Yeah, our focus is going to be dictated by what our listeners are interested in.
Yeah,
for a lot of it. Obviously, the main focus in its entirety is around the amateur game, and we also want to look, as we said earlier, at the kind of 7-a-side, 5-a-side.
Well, that avenue, because that's the roots of AnyGames.ie. That's where we came from. That was the original idea for the platform, and it's kind of grown legs since there.
Yeah,
as to what we want to be. But yeah, we really want to get out or we want to hear your stories from your 5-a-sides, or
get out and meet people.
Meet people. The stuff
we can play that you probably won't get a game, Dave, but I'll certainly go out and play.
I can't play anymore. I got out of the car after driving down to you, and 15 minutes up the road, and my leg was stiff.
I shouldn't laugh, actually, Dave. We had a coaches match over the Christmas period, so a couple of days after Christmas, all the coaches got together, had an 11-a-side game. Thought I was doing all right. I wasn't trying to do anything too strenuous. I hadn't been training.
Yeah,
hadn't really been playing. And about 10 minutes into the second half, and I went to clear the ball, and I could hear my hamstring going. I could actually hear it. It was like a pop.
Really?
And I was, about a week, 10 days. I can still feel it now. We're back training with the young lads team this week, and just kicking the ball, and it just went again. I was like, I just feel it going. So getting old, I'm unfit. So
this will keep you involved. But you're still involved. You have your involvement.
My mind is convinced I'm still in my 20s. Yeah. But then my body's like, not a chance, pal. You haven't got it anymore. No. Forget about it.
No, you're still in your 30s anyway. I'm in my 40s now, so I'm
not long. Catching up on you, Dave.
Yeah, I've stopped aging. I'm waiting for you to catch up.
Benjamin Button.
But to go back, I suppose, to what we were saying, it's a great thing. I really am feeling positive about that National League. I think it's a great thing for football in the country.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, it's in its infancy, a lot like us.
Yeah,
so maybe we can grow together.
Yeah. I thought you meant us as people. We're not in our infancy.
Yeah, certainly in our minds, maybe.
Yeah,
very childish.
I suppose it's worth mentioning, actually, just about that National League, that they've reopened the short window for clubs that are still interested in registering. It's still open up until the 31st of January. I don't know whether they're expanding it. I thought those 15 teams were the league, and that's it. They are counting those 15 teams as the founding members of the league. So I'd say there's going to be scope for other teams to enter the league in time.
We'll see how it progresses anyway, and we'll see what that means. We'll obviously there'll be teams promoted. I don't think there won't be any teams relegated for the meantime. I think it's going to be.
I would wonder, are they looking for other registrations for reasons, say, if a club can maintain the criteria needed to stay in the league?
Yeah,
there's a next man up sort of thing.
Yeah, we spoke about the criteria previously, and there's a lot of boxes that need to be ticked.
Yeah.
The clubs have to be audited essentially to make sure that they're financially viable.
Yeah, that
they have the facilities to host.
They're not like Michael Douglas and falling down. Not economically viable.
Not economically viable. Yeah. So it's an important. It's to safeguard everybody involved. There's no point in a club making a huge investment, going into it for one season and then the club folds. It's not good for anybody.
Look, it could be a case of they want to see how they can do themselves. They want to push themselves as clubs, and see can they make a go of this thing. And fair play, I'd say fair play to any club who's actually gone into it now. It's a big step for them as football clubs. And
some big names in there would be interesting. It'd be
and
great opportunity for them if they can progress, and it'd be interesting to see how many years it might take for one of those founding members, one of those clubs to actually make it to the Premier Division. Yeah.
I don't think it might not take as long as you think.
How do you know how long I'm thinking?
I don't know. It's a good point. You would assume that, the initial thought would be just it's going to take them years to get there.
Yeah, maybe they'll get like a Ryan Reynolds coming in.
Maybe.
Doing a Wrexham on it.
Who would be the Irish equivalent to Ryan Reynolds?
Colin Farrell.
That's it.
And Ireland anyways.
Stop. Yeah, interesting actually. But best of luck to all the clubs involved anyway. Look forward to seeing how it goes.
Breaking news, Colin Farrell has just bought Cockhill.
Not the club. That's him slapping the base.
Right, we'll stop at the soundbar for now.
Yeah. Right, so Gav, we have a bit to catch up on. We missed a few weeks of chatting about the Premier League and bits and pieces that went on over the Christmas. Was there anything that caught your eye over the festive period in terms of the
I'll give you a quick summary, Dave.
Okay.
The quality of football is shocking in the Premier League this year. Absolutely shocking.
I would agree to some degree with that.
There was one day of fixtures over the Christmas period where I think it was 5 draws.
Really?
In the midweek game, we had 4 or 5 draws.
Crazy.
Most of them are scoreless. And I'm like, what I find most telling, I think, in the Premier League this year is United are within reach of Champions League places.
Yeah.
Right?
And
we've had about 5 or 6 weeks worth of opportunities to climb into the top 4. And we haven't taken them.
No. But likewise, teams around that top 4 are not taking their chances either.
Everybody's losing to everybody.
Like Liverpool have had chances to pull away in that 4th spot. And
we went on a run of drawing with Wolves, Leeds, and Burnley.
Yeah.
Right? All of that, every single time we could have went into the top 4. Every single time. There was 3 games on the trot that we drew.
They were games that you should be winning. I think that's ultimately why Amorim has gone.
But if the rest of the league were decent, with the form that we are in, right, we're not losing, but we're picking up a point a game. It's shocking.
Yeah. In another season, you probably would have found yourselves where you were last season.
That's exactly the point I'm making. Because the rest of the league is so poor, United can afford to be drawn every week and still be within touching distance of Champions League place.
Yeah, it's brilliant though. Right, as we're saying all this and saying you could be back where you were last season if not for the quality of the league.
We're about 6 points away from being in a relegation battle, being where we were last season.
It's crazy. Spurs are down there. It's great.
I know, but the Spurs go on a run. If they get 3 or 4 wins in a row, you're in that top 4. That goes for every single team in the league, bar probably the bottom 2.
They're not going on a run. Did you see their manager?
Yeah.
with an Arsenal
coffee cup.
Love it, you see. Yeah.
What's your take on that, Dave?
On him with an
Just
Arsenal
blind ignorance or
I would love
stupidity mixed with both?
I reckon he didn't know what he was holding. I reckon some PA or something gave him a coffee.
Yeah.
And it just, I would imagine maybe they were an Arsenal fan or something. I'd love to think there was like a cheeky Arsenal fan made him a coffee. There you go.
Do you think it was one of those things that the internet just kind of blew it up?
Maybe, just maybe he's trying to get the sack.
Maybe.
It's
not the first time he's kind of had a bit of a blooper, because in the early days he I think it was one of his very first interviews as Tottenham manager. He said something about Arsenal being one of the best teams in the league, or the best team in the league, or something like that.
He's not
which
wrong.
Didn't go down. But it didn't go down well, as
No,
you can imagine.
I wouldn't imagine.
With Spurs fans.
I mean, if you're the Spurs manager, you're not don't talk about Arsenal in any way, shape, or form.
Don't give them any credit.
No, give them nothing. But I am enjoying their play, so I'm not going to say too much more on that.
Yeah, but I'd say outside of Arsenal, maybe to a lesser degree, City and Villa, the rest of the Premier League has been shocking.
Yeah, it
hasn't been no consistency whatsoever.
Like, there's a drop off there. I'm looking at the league table now. So Arsenal on 49 points, City, Villa on 43, and then it drops down to 35 for Liverpool.
Yeah,
it's a big enough gap. Like, in terms of ourselves, but Arsenal. I don't want to believe, Gav. I can't even allow myself to at the minute.
Yeah, there's plenty of scar tissue there, Dave. You've been let down before over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah,
especially that one where you were 50 points at Christmas, was it?
Something like that. Yeah, and here we are now on 49 just after Christmas again. I don't know.
I think this is the year you should really do it, because the rest of the league is so poor.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised if he's not. Like, I was even looking at City last night against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. They weren't that impressive. Like, 2-0 kind of flattered them.
Right, okay. Actually, speaking of the Carabao Cup, Arsenal just won that one 3-2 as well. We were speaking about that, but it's a good opportunity for Arsenal to win something early in the season.
I didn't realise Arsenal haven't won the League Cup since '93.
Yeah, it's a long time. It was one cup Wenger never won, and the Champions League, obviously, but domestically, Wenger never won that League Cup.
And the time he's won it before that was with George Graham as well in '89.
Yeah, probably. I mean, for all George Graham's faults, he was a successful manager for the club.
Yeah,
he just stripped them of a few quid. But I mean,
yeah, they were all at it back then.
Yeah. You just got caught.
Yeah, bit of beer money never hurt anybody.
But a couple of managers gone over the Christmas period as well. Amarim being one of them.
Yeah.
Who else?
Maresca.
Yeah. That was an interesting one. That was very harsh, I thought.
I think both went at similar circumstances. It was less about the results, because if you look at them, both of them were kind of in around the Champions League places, as we discussed.
Yeah.
And they weren't like particularly awful in terms of the results. They both seemed like power struggles.
Yeah.
From looking from the outside.
It looks like that, especially with Amarim. That was a case of both parties wanted it. He definitely wanted it.
I think he was getting frustrated because kind of the soundings coming out from United were that Jason Wilcox likes to be involved.
Yeah.
And he likes to be in constant discussion with his manager / head coach. Now, I say that on purpose because it seems that Amarim was brought in with the title of manager. That he was the one that was going to be in control. But under this new Ineos regime, Jason Wilcox wants to be more in tune with the manager, which you can see both sides of the argument.
Yeah, but that puts Amarim more in the head coach position then, doesn't it?
It does, and he obviously wasn't comfortable with that. And I think, a lot of the results as well, although they weren't catastrophic, the performances were so poor. I mean, those draws that I spoke about, 3 draws against the 3 lowest teams in the league, essentially.
That's going to lose any top clubs manager that job, I think, isn't it?
There were all opportunities to get back into the top 4. I mean, we should, off the back of those results, have been closer to Aston Villa. We should have been ahead of Liverpool based on those.
Yeah. You'd be looking at, it sounds stupid to say it, but you'd be nearly looking at saying, Jesus, we're outside chance of competing for the league at that point. And
I think as well what had happened, the game before the Wolves game, we adopted a back 4 and we won that game. And then up against Wolves, we reverted back to a back 3.
Crazy.
And there was a couple of decisions there. And then obviously what really did it, I think, for Amarim was how he spoke about the club in his post-match interviews. I think that's what's
Yeah.
the final nail in the coffin. And as you said, he probably was putting his hand out purposely to be slapped.
Yeah, I think so. I do think so. It just struck me as a manager who was playing fire on purpose, just to kind of get out, but also get his payment.
Yeah,
instead of just walking away.
I don't know how other United fans feel. Maybe let us know in the comment section. But for me, it's a bit of a strange one because when Amorim came in, even Ten Hag before that, any managers that have come in really over the years, there's always kind of an air of optimism where you're kind of going, right, fresh start.
Yeah.
And, there's a hopeful optimism there.
Yeah.
Don't feel that right now. Like usually I'm on YouTube and I'm looking at interviews and, I would have been dying to see what Carrick had to say and look for a bit of
something to say, that this is really positive and
things
are
tangible
good,
that you can go, this fella knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing now.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at any of it. I'm not interested. I know this is only an interim position. Maybe that's
probably got something to do with it, though. It was because, to be honest, when Freddie Ljungberg was the stopgap between Emery and Arteta, as much as I loved Ljungberg,
I forgot all about that actually.
As much as I loved Ljungberg as a player, I knew it was an interim, and I couldn't get interested in it. Yeah. It was just, all right, he's in. It's going to be a new manager in a few weeks' time, and lo and behold, it was Arteta. So I know where you're coming from with the Carrick thing.
We had Fletcher there as well for 2 games. The 2 games that he did, slight differences in setup. Certainly dominated the ball a lot of the time. Still lacking that bit of quality. To break teams down.
And the FA Cup exit was kind of bad as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. The writing was on the wall. It was a really second half shocking performance. Like it really was. And I definitely think we're missing the likes of Mbeumo and Diallo, but I think with United as well, you don't get that. The way there's an air of excitement when the new manager comes in. You think there's going to be some sort of a bounce back or a bit of a lift and try and press this manager.
It wasn't there though at all, was it?
A lot of that says a lot about the personnel. If you can't go out on that pitch and do what you're supposed to do and do what you're being paid for, I don't know.
You said it there. You're finding it hard to get excited about Carrick and stuff coming in, and just finding it hard to get excited about United in general at the moment. And I suppose that's a good thing to put to United fans who might be listening. If you are listening as a United fan, what's your take? Are you excited about Carrick? Are you positive about the future? Do you think things are going to turn around for United in the next season or two, or some sort of forward momentum? Is I think what any United fan would be looking for now at the moment.
I think I'm just at the stage now where I just want to see a performance that gives me that feeling again. That actually brings it. I don't want to just be hearing, because I've said it so many times about Amorim, how well he comes across in interviews and he speaks a good game and all, but it just never came across on the pitch.
No. This Sunday would be nice.
Yeah. I'd also be interested to hear from United fans how they feel about Carrick over Ollie, because Ollie was the other other option.
From as an outsider looking in, I would have preferred Ollie, I think.
Yeah. Look, we don't have too much to go on with Michael Carrick. Obviously, he's had his time at Middlesbrough and stuff.
I just feel like Ollie didn't do too much wrong in his actual tenure there anyway. I don't think he was to blame for a lot of the failings.
I would argue that our best football post-Ferguson came under Ollie.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I was kind of glad to see him go at that time.
Some of that might be down to personnel. I mean, you had Bruno coming in at that time. You had Pogba, who was phenomenal when he was actually playing.
Yeah.
You still had Mata there. You had Matic. Like, there was still characters there as well. Still good.
I thought he was playing good stuff
players.
Already, and
he finished second and third respectively. I mean, he didn't have any trophies to his name, but the football we were playing was electric. I mean, you had a Marcus Rashford who was in flying form. I think he kind of was it around the time Ollie was there that Mason Greenwood started to get a look in as well. Obviously, the less said about him, the better. Well, he's flying over in France at the moment, but we'll never see him back again.
No, we'll maybe leave him.
Speaking of Rashford, actually, Barcelona came out and said that they're going to keep him.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
that was a turnaround. They weren't going to.
Yeah, no, it came out there. I read it there the other day. His release clause is only his buy clause is only about 30 million.
It's not much of a gamble, is it then for them? And they're a club who could do with bringing in someone reliable at a kind of a decent price, because aren't they still financially kind of not?
Oh, they've sold their soul.
Yeah,
they've sold their soul. They've sold the rights to I think they sold all their image rights.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And they've sold their TV rights for the next.
TV rights. They've
next-
sold the name of the stadium, the new
Mm.
stadium. It's going to be called like the Spotify Arena or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah,
They're corporate shells.
yeah, absolutely.
Another club whose fans I want to get an opinion on as well is obviously Liverpool.
Yeah.
On how I suppose their festive period went and how you see things there at the moment. I mean, if I'm a Liverpool fan now, I'm not really happy. I think it says it all that I watched the Arsenal Liverpool game last week and I was rightly pissed off with the 0-0. I was expecting Arsenal to go in, and maybe wrongly, because they are still the champions, all right. So
that
fair
was
enough.
one of the worst games.
It was terrible.
I've seen all season.
It was a terrible game of football.
I was ready to turn it off after an hour. It was shocking to watch.
You should
have.
So I was rightly pissed off at that result, mainly because I looked at Liverpool, at a Liverpool team who were weakened and who are not playing their best stuff. So I was like, this is a prime time to get Liverpool at the Emirates, and everything that was at stake in that game and whatever, it kind of pissed me off. But I suppose that was just my perception of Liverpool, and I want to get the opinion of Liverpool fans on this and what they think.
I think Liverpool fans are probably feeling a bit indifferent because the league position would tell you that they're not doing too bad.
Yeah,
they're still in with Champions League places and so on and so forth. But I'd say if you're judging it by the eye and what you're actually watching out on the pitch, probably not too happy because they look way off it.
They do, and I still see them continuing to be inconsistent between now and the end of the season.
I see that, but every single team across the board, barring maybe the top, I wouldn't even put Villa in that because I reckon Villa could fall off as well.
Villa will drop off. I don't mean that to be.
They'll probably still get Champions League places.
I think they will, but they're going to drop off that chase for the league title, and it is going to be Arsenal and City, but in whatever order you want to put them at the end of the season. Villa will drop off, and it's mainly because of their squad depth. I reckon it's not because of the quality of the team.
That's always going to be the case with Villa. We spoke about this before. They don't generate a huge amount of revenue as a club.
No, and
I wonder how long Emery will stick around if he hasn't got the financial backing.
Someone said it to me the other day. Sorry if you're listening, I forget who it was. Maybe it was me, Andrew. I can't remember. Anyway, he was talking about what about Emery to Madrid?
Yeah, that could be a show.
I mean,
I'd take him at United.
Oh, yeah.
I would definitely take him at United, and I'd be interested to see what he could do with a bit of a budget.
Yeah. I was listening to it was the Arseblog, Arsecast, and they were talking about Emery on that, and they were saying he was always better when he was just the coach. Leave him there to coach. He's a better coach once he starts getting money and he's got reign over who he signs and stuff like that. That's when he's not as good. But as a coach, Emery is, and there's evidence is there when you look at the Europa Leagues he's won with. Was it Sevilla?
Sevilla, yeah.
Sevilla. I think he won. I think he holds a record for the most Europa Leagues actually as a manager.
Did he win 3 and 4 seasons or
something like that?
Something mad like that.
Yeah. So I could see why Emery would be a very good fit for Man United at this present moment.
I think so, and having someone like that, if that is the case, and he prefers to be the head coach as opposed to a manager.
Not that he prefers,
but if he's better in that role, knowing that he's going to at least have somewhat of a say and go, look, here's a short list of players.
Yeah.
Who do you want out of those 3 or 4 names or whatever? And that would also probably, by the sound of it, suit Jason Wilcox as well to be at United to be able to go.
Maybe they will. Maybe United might go for him. He'd have more of a budget. I don't know.
But we know Michael,
contradictory to what I just said about him as a coach who and his signings, but
we know Michael Carrick now is down as the interim.
Yeah,
he has that title. It's interim. He's not going to get more than the rest of the season unless he does what Ollie did in his interim position,
drags them up
and makes it impossible to let him go.
Yeah, if he won every game between now and the end of the season, just say,
and look, I'd love nothing more for that to happen. That'd be great, but I'm just, as I said, I'm just not hopeful. I want to get to a stage now where I'm coming on this podcast and going, that's the best I've seen United playing in a long time.
Yeah. I asked you, I mentioned Liverpool. What's your take on them? Are they going to continue to be up and down?
Yeah, but I think they can just because of the way the rest of the league is. I think they can afford to be inconsistent
Yeah,
and,
maybe.
and just have a little, like, I think the whole season is just going to whimper away,
Yeah.
and Arsenal should really just take it without really having to work overly hard for it.
I don't know. I think City are gonna still be there. The signing of Semenyo is like that's worth a few points already on the board. I think.
Yeah, like he's huge for a player like Bournemouth. I think he'll just become part of the furniture at City. I don't think
He
he's
might.
particularly going to stand out. I don't think he's going to.
2 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, but you look at those games, you look at the opposition.
Yeah.
Like I'll not take, like, I highly rate Semenyo. Like if you go back on some of the earlier podcasts, he hit the ground running this season. By all accounts, deserved that move to City, 100%.
Yeah.
I just don't think City as a whole, something's just not clicking there. Something's just not working for me.
Well, I hope you're right, and I hope you do them this Sunday. I would love that. With Liverpool, I wouldn't. Funny enough, a few weeks ago, I would have been calling for his head as a Liverpool fan. I think Slot's head. I mean, yeah, I would have been looking for any Slot to lose his job if I was a Liverpool fan. But it's hard to say because is that on him?
I don't know. See, if this was a normal season,
Yeah,
Liverpool would find themselves probably in 10th.
yeah, maybe you're right. Actually, yeah,
So you would probably say, right, maybe. And there was some rumblings after Amarim got sacked that Slot was going to be next.
yeah, there was. Yeah, that was definitely the conversation. Like,
That was the conversation. But that's why I think the league positions are flattering teams at the moment.
yeah, but you look at Brentford, and I'm not no.
I'd love to compare point accumulations between this season so far and last season, and just
Yeah.
see the differences.
Might be something to look at. Right?
There was no way United were sitting in 15th or wherever they were at this time last season, and still could have been 6 points away from the top four.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
There's not a chance.
There's no way. Yeah, sorry, I was saying Brentford, like they're up in 5th, and there's no disrespect to Brentford or anything like that, but
But they lose the next game, they could find themselves in the bottom half of the table. That's
Yeah.
just the way it works.
it's just crazy. It's just
The way
crazy.
it is to see, and it's just like you could have 5 more chances to get into the top 4 over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Now,
crazy.
But what's frustrating now at the moment for United fan is I spoke about those last couple of results where we've drawn against lesser opposition, like the lower end of the table. We've now got City and Arsenal. Like Carrick's first game is the derby on Saturday morning.
Yeah, is that Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday, okay.
The early kick-off, sorry.
Before
I'll
we,
just have to double check that.
I wanted to push on. We'll have a little look on ahead to the weekend. But before we do, there's an elephant in the room I want to address, and it was the Martinelli incident last week against Liverpool.
Yeah, interesting to get your take on this one.
Right? The fucking overreaction to this thing as an incident is crazy. And Gary Neville is responsible, by the way, for kicking it off with all this fucking talk about, oh, if I was a Liverpool player, I would have whacked him and whatever he said and taken the red card. First of all, Gary Neville's a fucking tick, right? And nobody should take anything he says under any advisement. So Liverpool fans won't agree with me, right? Because why would they? You know, that player got injured. He was an ACL, maybe he got. I'm not even sure. He's out for the rest of the season, requires surgery. I get it, right? Martinelli shoves him off the pitch. Looks bad in the moment, but if anybody with half a brain actually stepped back and looked at that incident, can see Martinelli doesn't see him go to the ground, right? All he sees is a player on the ground. This was the 90th minute. Liverpool happy with their draw, let's be fair, right? Sees the player slightly nudge himself back onto the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And we've all seen it, players doing it to waste a bit of time. In my mind, that's what Martinelli sees there. And he decides, get the fuck off the pitch. And he gives him a little shove. And we've seen players do it before to players who aren't actually injured. I think this is a massive overreaction to it. It's a bad look. Players come out and apologised. Yes. I don't know. I just think the whole thing was overblown.
I would wholeheartedly disagree.
Why?
Because I think this day and age in particular, the referee is constantly stopping the watch. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So this thing of time wasting doesn't go on anymore. Like, as in, it doesn't pay off anymore, I should say.
It doesn't, but it does still happen.
Right? It does still happen. But if the player goes down and he's whinging and moaning, say to the ref, like the ref, in fairness, these days as well, they don't allow players to roll around on the ground and just waste minutes and minutes and minutes. They get the stretcher on. If you need a stretcher, yeah, stretcher's on. Get off the pitch. Go off at the nearest exit.
Yeah,
you're off quick enough.
But all of this happened.
Time gets added on.
All of that.
But I don't understand that mentality now of any players where they're thinking, right, you have to get off the pitch. Get off. Like there was another one I seen. Rafinha took a medical bag, picked it up and ran it and put it off the pitch. Like what is that about? I don't get that. This is like he might not be on your team, right? But it's a fellow professional. Just let the ref deal with it. Get up and walk away.
I agree with that, but then at the same time, heat of the moment and all that comes into it. And
yeah, I get it. And look, you've played football with me.
Yeah,
you know how hot-headed I've often gotten in football. Right?
Yeah,
and this is like I'm talking a 7-a-side pitch. Playing like I'm in like thinking I'm in the Champions League final,
blasting shots over the bar.
Yeah, right, absolutely dirt, right. But I don't get like these lads are playing week in week out.
Yep.
How can you not just take the game for what it is and just go let the ref just leave that as well? Like why am I? You only get so many yellow cards. Like you get 5 and it's a ban.
Up to a point. That gets wiped after Christmas.
Yeah, but even still, you don't want to be starting to get yellow cards now and then missing the game. You could be missing the derby.
I agree with that. And look, like don't get me wrong, he should have walked away from it, regardless of whether the player was injured or not.
Yeah,
but I would find it very hard to believe that he actually thought Conor Bradley was actually injured and proceeded to do that.
Yeah,
which is why I think the whole
just don't know. Like I can see both sides of the argument to a degree, and I understand the heat of the moment thing, and it's getting close to the end of the game. But then I also think, like, where was that passion at 45 minutes?
Yeah, well, I do agree with that.
Do you know what I mean?
I often look
why did he leave it to get all argy-bargy
when time's running out?
When time's running out.
Yeah, I don't know, and I've seen that.
Why didn't he get in his face before that?
I don't know, but that's a point I've seen with clubs before, and anyway, where you see a team is flat for 45 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's the 90th minute, and they decide to pick things up and like.
Can I say something about that game? And we spoke how the number 9 is becoming fashionable again.
Yeah.
Right. But there's always this argument about the defenders back in the day or the strikers back in the day. There were so many more of them, and they were better quality. And sometimes we can look back at things like that with rose-tinted glasses. But I seen Declan Rice put in an incredible ball first half, and it was right in that sweet spot between the keeper and the back line.
And no one there.
Gyökeres was on the 18-yard line.
Yeah.
Right? And I see it time and again, week in, week out, and I'm looking at these strikers, right? And that's what they are, strikers. They're number 9s, right? And not one of them takes a chance and makes that run.
No.
Is your job, do you not want to score goals?
I do wonder, right? You talk about Gyökeres in particular here.
And I'm not just picking on Gyökeres.
No, I know.
But
that's one example. I do wonder if something has been said to him since that Liverpool game, and maybe using that Declan Rice thing as an example. You look at the goal he scored tonight against Chelsea. Ball comes in from Ben White, and he's right there. He's in the 6-yard box with the ball coming across. Keeper fumbles it a little bit. He gets lucky that the ball falls to his feet, but at least he's actually there, and that's where you as a number 9 should be. So you're right. They're not gambling enough.
Yeah. Like there was one goal that Sesko scored, where it was a similar ball. I think Bruno Fernandes crossed it in, and he timed his run, got on the end of the ball, and it was a tap in.
Yeah.
Right. Now, this isn't me saying Sesko is better than Gyökeres.
No.
But I seen that Sesko goal, and I thought to myself, you don't see that often anymore.
No,
they're all trying to pass the ball into the goal. They're all trying to get to the byline and do these cutbacks, and that's what you see more often.
Because the game's become very winger heavy.
Yeah, and like you look at the likes of Saka, loves run down the byline, cuffs back in on the left, plays it across, wherever it might be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how many goals and assists has Saka got this year?
Not a whole lot.
No.
Not a whole lot.
Why don't teams cross the ball more?
Yeah.
Do you know, like Arsenal love a corner. How successful are they from corners?
Yeah.
In open play, why don't you just put more crosses into the box?
It makes no sense, especially with Gyökeres. He's a big lad.
And it's not even that. It's when a winger gets down the wing and puts a cross in, and they don't like gamble enough players. There's never enough players in the box.
No,
you don't get a deep line midfielder doing a late run, or you don't get
No. One of my favourites, again, we mentioned him earlier in the podcast, Freddie Ljungberg.
Yeah.
How many times did you see Arsenal back in the day? Perez would be down the wing, or someone would have the ball ready to cross in, and Ljungberg was like a master at this late run into the box.
Yeah, you get 2 or 3 lads in the box. You'll have your winger coming in from the other side around the back. You'll have your central midfielder on the edge of the box, so when the defender clears it,
But even
like Paul Scholes or Lampard used to do, Gerrard, welly you from outside the box, get that knockdown.
Yeah.
It's like they don't commit enough bodies because they're afraid of a counter attack.
Yeah, I agree.
They're so structured and so rigid. And
the game has become a bit. You talk about the quality of the Premier League. I wonder if some of that comes into play. Is that there's too much? It's too drilled. It's too.
I don't know if you've seen. Did you see Henrik Larsson on the overlap last week?
No.
He was talking about it, and he was saying he doesn't love the game anymore like he used to. Doesn't even enjoy watching it. He was like, it's too possession based.
Yeah.
Everything's control. Everything's overly controlled.
I blame Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
I do.
Let's just blame him and everything.
No, but I do, and it's funny because he's one of the best coaches the game's ever seen, if not the best coach the game has ever seen as an actual pure coach of a football team. But it has brought to this point of there's an episode of The Simpsons years ago where they're watching football on the telly, and it's literally 3 players passing the ball between them.
Yeah,
and people.
Yeah. Another one. Yeah.
That's kind of like that is what football is like these days.
Yeah, and I suppose if you look at the stats, the amount of touches that centre halves get, they get more touches than anybody on the ball. Do you know what I mean? They're like the quarterbacks now, and I think even the opposition, they know how to defend it now. Like it's like, 2 banks of 5, stay rigid, shift from left to right, make them play, let them play in front of you, but don't let them through the lines.
You very rarely even see a big switch anymore. Do you know, player welling it over to the other sideline because that player is open. Like you don't see it. It just doesn't. I don't know.
No,
we're not going to solve it sitting here. I don't think.
No, we need to get out on the field to get tactics sport out.
Get out there and.
But anyway, that's my 2 cents. Football's gone to shit. Great time to set up a podcast.
I'm not having it. I'll accept it next season that will say football's gone to shit. I'm not having it be said that Arsenal are going to win the league.
And football's gone to shit?
Yeah, not having it.
I think if you're ever going to win it, Dave, it's the time to do it because the rest of the league is dirt. With the exception of City, but City are still nowhere near there.
It's our best chance. A City back?
No. No, definitely not. Everybody else is just shite, Dave.
Yeah.
Except for Arsenal.
Right, Gav, so looking ahead to the weekend then, we won't spend too much time on it. I think just kind of give some quick predictions, although you might have your 2 cents on the first game of the weekend in the Premier League, which is the big one, Man United at home to Man City.
Yeah, I don't know how to call this one, Dave. Obviously, Carrick's first game, as we spoke about earlier. I'll be hopeful that we get a draw. I don't think City are great at the moment.
No.
And I'd be also hopeful that we get a bit of a bounce with the new managerial appointment, even though he's only an interim.
But he might get. He's
only had a week in the job.
Might get, like you say, that new manager bounce. So
Old Trafford will be jumping anyway.
It will, and I'm hoping you get a result, and I will optimistically say you'll get a draw.
Dave, I thought you were going to go full hog. That was very
No, no. That is the full hog. I don't see you getting much more than a draw there, but
well, I hope that will come back here next week, and I'm saying to you, that's the best I've seen United.
Yeah,
in a long time.
You did say that earlier as well. So look, we both think draw there.
Yeah.
Moving on then to Chelsea at home to Brentford.
Smells like a draw.
Does as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm looking ahead at all these fixtures.
Chelsea had a tough game tonight. It's we're recording here on Wednesday evening. Chelsea were put through the ringer a little bit by Arsenal, to put each other through the ringer a bit. To be honest, it was a good game. Yeah, draw as well. Draw. Then we have Leeds at home to Fulham. I'm gonna go Leeds.
Yeah, go Leeds as well.
Yeah. Liverpool at home to Burnley.
You'd have to say Liverpool win.
Yeah, it's only one result there. Sunderland at home to Palace. I fancy Sunderland.
Yeah, Stadium of Light. I'd go Sunderland as well.
Very strong there at home, aren't they?
Spurs West Ham.
Gonna go West Ham win.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that, Dave.
I don't care.
I don't like they haven't won. And
no, I am only joking. They're not going to win. Although they do like to stick at the Spurs, West Ham, and
so does everybody.
Well, that's true. Do you know what? Feck it. Draw.
I'm gonna go Spurs. Can I just say something on West Ham?
Yeah.
good chance they're going to get relegated this year.
I think so, yeah.
And I'm just wondering where that leaves Jared Bowen.
New club. Oh, but yeah. Or
He's very much die-hard West Ham.
They'll come back, I would think.
But do you think he'd go down with them?
Yeah, I think you say it. I was going to say new club, but actually I think he would, and I think he'd like to maybe be the hero who fights back and gets them back in the Premier League.
Yeah, I can see that. I think he's that type of player, isn't
he? Yeah. Plus his father-in-law will kill him if he leaves.
Oi, Jared.
Yeah. 5:30 then. Forest at home to Arsenal. This feels like a banana skin.
For Forest?
Yeah. No, it does. I don't know. Sean Dyche football. Arsenal again, coming off the back of a tough midweek game.
No. Arsenal all day there.
This is just me having
the ever pessimistic Arsenal fan.
It's having those jitters, Gavin. Getting those. So long as it's just me getting the jitters.
A lot of games left, Dave. You wouldn't want to be having them jitters every week now.
I know. No, right, Fecker. We'll say Arsenal win. And that's going to come back to haunt me. Like Garnacho coming off the bench to score 2 this evening.
Yeah, maybe just stay quiet in future.
Yeah. Moving on to Sunday then, we have Wolves at home to Newcastle.
Newcastle all day.
Yep. And then we have Villa at home to Everton.
Villa all day.
Do you think?
Yeah. Although Jack Grealish might want to score against Villa, won't he?
Maybe, although that's kind of gone away now, has it?
I don't know. It's his club, I think, isn't it? I think it stays.
You look at Danny Welbeck scoring against Man United. Loves
Which time?
The last week.
He does it every time he plays against United, he scores.
And he loves to celebrate.
And what a finish.
I know.
What a finish. Couldn't take anything away from him.
What I do like the fact that he does celebrate. He doesn't do the whole, oh no, I can't, it's my old club sort of thing.
I know. To think we used to turn our nose up at Danny Welbeck.
I would have a Danny Welbeck back at Arsenal.
I'd take him at United again.
Not as a starter, but maybe a starter for United. But at Arsenal,
more of a main course.
Yeah.
Just a bit of dessert.
You
know. Welbeck pie.
Yeah. Welbeck pie. Speaking of Danny Welbeck, actually, Brighton at home to Bournemouth on Monday Night Football.
Draw.
Think a draw?
I'd say draw.
I'm going to give it to Brighton.
Bournemouth lacking a bit of firepower now, so Semenyo's gone.
Yeah, maybe. They're funny side, Bournemouth. Like the way they started the season, and they actually they play well at home. I think I'm just going to give it to Brighton, I think. Anyway, yeah.
Bit contradictory there. you were talking about how good Bournemouth were at the start of the season, and you're going to say, I'm going to give them the win to Brighton.
Yeah. It was a bit contradictory.
Sorry, what?
Sure. What are you talking about?
Set me up for a fail there.
So that's the Premier League roundup. We didn't want to go too in depth on it. We didn't want to be talking here for half an hour about who's going to win this, that, and the other.
Yeah, we can't talk for a half an hour about how we want to focus on amateur football and then
go
spend the whole time talking about
balls in on Premier League. You know what I mean? Balls out, whatever way you want to look at it. I'll fix that. With the mention of amateur football, then Gav, you wanted to run us through some Leinster Senior League fixtures for this weekend.
Yep, I did indeed. So, coming up this weekend, Usher Celtic are home to Lucan United FC. We've got Tolka Rovers at home to Kilbarrack. Wayside Celtic at home to Malahide. Inchicore up against St. Francis. We've got Bangor Celtic against St. Moctus. Bangor at home there. And we've got Ballymun United against Leicester.
Any of those?
Leicester, Donny Carney, sorry.
Are any of those games kind of big fixtures for the weekend? Is there any kind of...
Yeah, well, currently we've got Malahide at top of the league at the moment. They've played 11. Behind them is Tolka, but they've played 13. It's quite tight at the top of the moment. There's only a couple of points kind of breaking up the first couple of teams. Finglas United are in there in 5th. Now they've played 14 games, but they are in the cup against Bows this weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's this weekend.
That's up in Larney Park. So, if you're a Bows fan or you're a Finglas United fan, you can get tickets on eventbrite.ie for that game. I think it's €10 for adults, €5 for kids.
It's good.
Tickets are limited because there's no grandstands. It'll be all standing.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, it'd be great to get a good crowd down at Larney Park.
Good price to go and watch a game of football. You know what I mean? Just
absolutely.
I mean, if you're from Finglas, get out and support support your club. Or
Yeah.
like Gav said, if you're a Bows fan, get down there and enjoy the game.
Yeah, it's great for the community because you'll probably get a lot, and I mean a lot of Bows fans in Finglas,
Yeah,
myself
yeah.
included, and then obviously
Yeah.
I'm involved with Finglas United. So I'll be down there.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to go for Finglas United,
Oh, you're gonna have to. It's your
especially
club.
because they're the underdog as well.
You know, like as you say, a lot of people from Finglas would be Bows fans.
Yeah.
But it's your local club first, isn't it? It's your local amateur club.
Yeah,
you know?
you always want to kind of go
You
for the
have to
underdog
support
in
them,
that.
don't you?
And they got off to a good start last week, beating Wexford down there 2-0. So
So best
hopefully
of luck
it continues. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be back with the results then next week for that. So this is kind of our first sort of dipping our toe into the water of the Leinster Senior League.
Yeah, and I think you know what, I can't wait to get more in depth into it and start following it and knowing what's going on there. As you say, it's what we want to do here. We want to put a spotlight on amateur football and these games and these leagues that are happening around the country. So yeah, that's our as Gav said, that's our first kind of little venture into that.
Yeah, and if you're involved with any of those clubs and you'd like to reach out and maybe give us an update on what's going on at your club, or you'd like to speak about your club or speak about your involvement in the league, do let us know. We'd be happy to open the lines of communication there and maybe take a trip out to your club and get talking to you.
And that goes for clubs right across the country. We are happy to have you on and have a chat, and we're happy to head out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Dave, I'll hand the mic back to you, even though we have our own mics.
We have our own
I knew
mics.
you were going to make that joke. Yeah. You always do every time I say it. It's metaphorical, right? It's figure of speech.
Yeah.
If you want to tell everybody where they can find us and get in touch with us.
Yep. So it's AnyGames.ie. You'll find us across most social platforms. We're on Facebook, X, TikTok. Where else are we? YouTube. Although watch the YouTube channel. There's going to be stuff coming there. But yeah, if you want to reach out to us or just get talking to us on anything, it's some form of AnyGames.ie or AnyGames.ie across all the social platforms. Also, we have the website AnyGames.ie, which is kind of where, if you're looking to get in touch with us, that's the place to do it. You'll find us over there. Drop into the chat section, or you'll find us. It's Dave at AnyGames.ie and it's Gav at AnyGames.ie over there as well. If you want to DM us anything, you can head over there and do that as well. So that's AnyGames.ie. And yeah, follow us on those social platforms and share with anybody you think might be interested as well in the podcast. And of course, listen to us on Spotify and follow us over there, because that is the main platform that we're putting this podcast out at the moment. So, yep. I suppose just all that's left for me to say then this week is thanks for listening, and give us a follow and give us a share.
Yeah, and over the coming weeks as well, we'll be looking to bump up those follower numbers. When we hit the milestone of 100 followers, we'll have a little giveaway as well. So if you're listening and you don't follow us already, hit that follow button.
Yep.
We'd really appreciate it.
We don't know what that looks like just yet, but we'll have some sort of giveaway.
Yeah, we'll get a bit of merch sent out to you, something like that. But we'll give you more details over the coming weeks.
Yep. So, yep, thanks for listening.
Slán bhaile.
Bye-bye.